on the wider threats Israel could be facing. I want to bring in Yoel Guzanski, a senior fellow at the Institute for National Security Studies and a former National Security Council official in Israel. Yoel, really appreciate you taking the time to speak to us. We have been seeing the last few days increased strikes from Lebanon into Israel. We've also seen Israeli towns evacuated because of this growing concern and threat. How do you read its actions and intentions here on the Hezbollah side?
Good afternoon from Tel Aviv, Israel. This is a good question. I think Hezbollah is trying to operate beneath the threshold of war, or what Hezbollah believes is Israel's threshold. I think this possesses a risk for both sides because neither side knows exactly what the other side's threshold is. When we talk about Hezbollah, one needs to understand this is not Hamas. This is something else. Even back in 2010, I think then U.S. Defense Secretary Robert Gates said, and I quote, Hezbollah possesses a danger and has more missiles than most countries in the world. Since then, Hezbollah numbers of rockets and missiles and the precision guided missiles, those numbers have just grown. So this is something else that we are witnessing in the north.
And Yoel, what we are seeing today, the New York Times is reporting today that U.S. officials learned that the Israeli defense minister and other more hawkish military officials supported a kind of preemptive strike on Hezbollah after that brutal attack against Israelis on October 7. President Biden has been urging against it. This is according to the New York Times. How do you see the U.S. role here? And who, if anyone, can help rein in Hezbollah?
Well, I don't think there is an agreement inside the Israeli cabinet, the war cabinet now, or even the Israeli public on what should be the best policy vis-a-vis Hezbollah. One of those alternatives, one of those options, as you mentioned, is a preemptive strike on Hezbollah. But I don't think there's an agreement on that. And I also think that the fact that the U.S. is here, the Navy assets and other assets in the region, not just deter Hezbollah, but also deter Israel from moving forward, perhaps with this option. I think U.S. Publicly even said that he doesn't want to open another front. They want to contain and let Israel focus on the south. Some in Israel actually think we should do that, focus on the south, but some think we should take an advantage of the U.S. presence here and do something else, something wider, because Hezbollah possesses a much bigger threat than Hamas to Israel.
That is very interesting context. That's important that you brought that up. Let me give our viewers the perspective of Lebanon. The Foreign Minister, Abu Habib, told CNN this. Have a listen to this.
We have been very afraid and very worried that the war could spread to Lebanon. This is the last thing we want. We've had wars. It's enough for us, and we're trying to have peace now in southern Lebanon.
So, I mean, Lebanon doesn't want war. So help us make sense of this for our viewers around the world, because they're a part of it, but they're not really in it. So is this just to signal solidarity with Hamas, or is this to divert resources from Israel's efforts in Gaza?
Absolutely. I think Hezbollah, first of all, is encouraged by Hamas' success. I think both Hamas and Hezbollah don't believe how much success they gained on October 7th. I think Hezbollah thinks that Israel is weak now, in a weak position, and it might take advantage of that. Also, it wants to show solidarity with Hamas and try to deter any IDF thinking from a ground entry into Gaza. But I think also that Hezbollah is restrained by several factors, and I named some of those factors. First of all, as you mentioned, the damage that the IDF response to Hezbollah aggression might cause Lebanon, not just Hezbollah, but the country of Lebanon. Also, I think Iran perhaps desire to preserve Hezbollah power, because Hezbollah represents some kind of a deterrent vis-a-vis Israel might Iran nuclear installation attack. And also, I think Hezbollah is in a different stage now in the last 2 weeks. First, because Israel military preparedness, and also the U.S. factor. I think if it does not affect Hezbollah calculation, it affects Iran calculations, and Iran controls Hezbollah to an extent.
Yeah, I also do wonder how much appetite there is domestically for another war. I mean, the country's facing grave domestic crisis at home, and I'm guessing any sort of military engagement would only worsen that. Yoel, really appreciate you taking the time to speak to us. Yoel Guzanski there from near Tel Aviv. We're going to take a short break. We're back after this.